Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. Here is the website for Ciro if you would like it, usgamesinc.com. Feel free to freeze frame if you would like to, of course. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. There's a website on the back here, hayhouse.com. Some other information if you're interested. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if it's of any interest to you. Okay, Capricorn. I had the success card like kind of fall out, and another card tried to come out too, but then I realized I shuffled it back in before I took it. I don't know why I did that, but I'm wondering if like success is trying to come in here, and it's having a difficult time. The Knight of Cups. See, this one, I almost put this back too, but it was cutting me in the hand. So I'm like, something is trying to give you an opportunity. I'm very confident with that. But the thing is, Capricorn is very organized. I'm telling you, most people watching this will be a Capricorn or some Earth sign, or you'll connect with that energy enough to where you know what I'm saying. They're very organized. They don't just kind of just do. They well, tell me why. Unless it's something minimal, like somebody wants you to try a new candy bar, even then you'll be like, well, what's in it? Well, what's in it? Usually that's a Capricorn thing, kind of like, oh, well, what's in it? And even, yeah, but even those things, it's kind of like, well, tell me about it a little bit. I feel, maybe, is that a little too much? Let me know in the comments, but it does feel like that is Capricorn, like, tell me about it a little bit. They're not really just jump. Not usually. And if they're gonna spend their time with something, they're gonna take a little bit of a thought before they apply their precious time to it. Their time is very important to them, and they treat it that way. I'm saying that to Capricorns. Why am I talking to Capricorns in a third person thing? So there'll probably be a few people that aren't Capricorns trying to understand Capricorns, maybe? Maybe. Capricorns do things their way, and they have a system. Usually, there's a lot of order. Even if you don't know what it is, the Capricorn does. That's really how I understand Capricorn. They're very structured. They're very thought out. Even if you don't know they are. There's an energy coming. There's an offer trying to come in, so I want to let it come in. But what's blocking it is my question. Something is blocking it. How do we get it forward? I feel like it's coming forward very quietly to start with. And for those who are going to connect with this reading, this Capricorn reading, you're going to be like, you know, but it's kind of like you've kind of heard it, but you're like, well, it's not coming through that strong, so I just feel like I'm not paying too much attention. It's almost like somebody wanting to go on a fishing trip, but then they just kind of sort of half-heartedly mention it once, but then you don't hear anything else. And you were waiting for them to say more and they didn't, so you just kind of moved on from it. Something like that. It could be a business situation like that. Something where somebody in a very mousy way. I'm sorry, but it does feel that way. They just kind of sort of mentioned it to see if you were going to say something. And you just kind of were waiting for them to tell you more. There's a misconnection here. There's a misconnection. They wanted to see what your response was. You were waiting for them to say more. So you didn't have a response yet because you're like, well, what else? And nothing else. So you're like, well, if there's nothing else, but then why care? You were also, I feel like for those of you this is going to hit with, you were probably pretty busy at the time. So if you're in the middle of doing something, seriously, if you're in the middle of doing something and they just half-heartedly mention something, you're going to be centered on what you're doing. Okay, so I'm partially feeling annoyed with this, kind of but I feel like I know a little bit about Capricorns. You can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, of course. But if a Capricorn is involved with something, they're probably not going to spend a lot of time asking you questions about something else. If you're, let's use a baking analogy because I love them. You're making baklava, we're going to say, because I haven't made it, but I have a feeling it's complicated. You're involved in doing this, crushing something up, putting this together, or whatever it is. Maybe it's something where you got to pay attention to what you're putting into what you're doing, because it has to be done a certain way, and it's got to be done this way, and it's got to be done at a certain time, whatever. You're involved with that. And somebody just kind of randomly comes into the kitchen and says, "Oh, what do you think about fishing? You know, I was gonna probably go fishing here. I don't know. I'm not really sure." And you're just kind of like waiting to hear more half-heartedly, but kind of like concentrating on what you're doing. I don't know. I'm getting annoyed. Kind of like, why would somebody bring up something half-heartedly when you're busy? And then they just kind of let it go away, and you're like, well, if that's it, then why bother? I don't need to bring up a conversation about nothing. Why would I bother? You were busy. I feel like when it came forward, you were busy. It does seem to be a little bit aggravating, and I'm wondering if maybe in that moment, maybe your face kind of showed that, kind of like, I'm doing something, and you're trying to take my thoughts somewhere else. I'm doing something. Kind of like, I'm doing something. So your face might have said a lot, kind of like, get off me. Like, when I'm finished, bother me when I'm finished. And at this point, you might just still be bothering me, but when I'm finished. This person doesn't understand you. No. Even if it's somebody who usually you get along with, I don't think they get that, like, they shouldn't bring, like, if you're involved with something, it's just not the time to start a new conversation. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm just like, not that you can't, but you won't, that's not going to be when you want to talk about something new, when you're busy doing something that means something to you. I don't know. There's a lot of aggravation right there. So we got to clear that out. Clear that energy out. We got to clear that out. That is what it was. Because there's this opportunity. Somebody's trying to offer you something. It's the King of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. Somebody's trying to offer you something. But they feel blocked. They didn't come toward you correctly, though. So how are you going to know what's going on here? Are they avoiding you now? They've got more to tell you. I feel like this is a certain person. I almost feel like for those of you watching this, somebody might just pop into your head like, yeah, that one does that to me. Like that one, every time I'm starting to get involved in something, or, you know, maybe you're outside and you're picking things up, or you're building something, or you're fixing something, or you're putting together a list of things you need for this, that, and the other thing. You're in the process of putting together, like, what do I need for this week? You could be doing anything. Every time you're in the middle of doing something, like if you're at work, you're like, I'm getting these reports together, I'm working on this, I'm in the middle of that. That's when they show up. That's when they got to ask me something. That's when they start these questions. And they, probably more than not, just seem to do that. I can think of certain people in my life that have done that, where it's just like, if it's the wrong time to ask me a question, that's exactly when they want to ask it. I can relate to that, because I feel like this person has that way of doing things. Go towards that person, because whatever they have to offer you, you actually do want. You don't even have to remember what it was they were talking about. If you just kind of like, is there anything on the docket you want to tell me about, any opportunities? If you just want to start the conversation that way, it's on the tip of their tongue. There's something they want to offer you. Give them the opportunity to offer it to you. That's it. Just go towards them and give them the opportunity to tell you what they need to tell you. Because I don't think it's going to take a lot of prodding. You're going to be like, you just basically have to get in this person's, earshot and be like, is there anything you need to tell me? Actually, yes. Blah, blah, blah. It's an ironic connection to me, because it seems like they know that they don't ask you things in the right time, or they know that they get on your nerves. You'd think they'd realize why, but maybe not. Maybe not. Because if you're knee deep in something, like, no, don't bring up a new conversation. I'm dedicated to what I'm doing. I'm not going to give you a lot of thought. I'm going to concentrate on what I need to get done, because I'm going to do what I need to do correctly. I'm going to do it right, and that's why I get it done right, because I focus the way I'm supposed to. I'm getting that energy. Like, listen. You can release this block, because it feels like it's blocked with the Hanged Man. The Two of Swords was kind of showing up on their side behind that Knight of Cups. Kind of like They feel blocked. Them feeling blocked is blocking you. You can release this block that way. Organization, passion comes in. You just got to know what's there, and you'll put it together the way you want. I don't see that being any sort of a challenge. Once you find out what the offer is, you'll be like, actually, you know what? That fits my life. This is how I want that to happen. This will work for me. I can do it this way. If you're willing to go like that, I can go like this. I feel like it'll be kind of like, I don't think it'll be a challenge at all for you. The whole challenge is to get this person to speak. And then you'll find out what you need to find out. Things will start moving. And the Ace of Wands is your outcome. And for Capricorn especially, it's kind of saying you're moving forward on your terms, and you're going to be very happy and excited about what this offer is. Once you know what it is, I just feel like it'll be easy street from there. They want you to have this. Whoever this is, by the way, I don't feel like they mean to be obnoxious, annoying, whatever you want. They don't mean to be an aggravation point. Let's go with that. They don't want you to dislike them. And I don't know if I would say you dislike them, however that scale goes with like, not like. I wouldn't say you dislike them. I feel like they annoy you. I think that's a better way. I don't think you dislike them, but it's kind of like your timing, dude. Your timing, seriously. When they offer this to you, they're going to be happy that you have it. You're going to be very happy to do something and passionate with it. I do feel like there's a positive connection with this person. It's a lot about the timing. It does honestly remind me of my mom, especially when I was a teenager. I swear, if there's one question, if there was something in my head, I'm like, I really don't want to talk about it. That's exactly what she wanted to talk about. We could go days without talking about a situation, and I just am not in the mood to talk. And she's like, well, are you not in the mood to talk? Well, let's talk about this. She would always, I just swear, when I was a teenager, that happened a lot. And again, the same type of analogy. She didn't want to drive me nuts. It just seemed like how that energy matched up that way. So if that makes sense. They're going to be very happy. They want you to have this. They really want you to have this. The joy with the inspiration, they want you to have this. And they'll help you get it the way you want it. They will work in your benefit to help you create this the way you want it created, by the way. So they're like an ally at that point. So I think that's why I'm trying to push this in at the end. Like, they do like you. They know that there's some type of discord. And, it is what it is. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't know. I could beat it to death, but why? All right. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.